What is up, my fellow writing addicts? I'm Marissa.
And I'm Haley.
And today, well, you said for the title, it's Reddit, the sequel.
Yes, we're going to answer more Reddit questions and spread our big brain knowledge.
Or something like that.
Well,
Whatever that is, yes.
Alright,
Only this time, we're adding that you can actually see our screen. And of course, this is a new location. This is my work computer. Well, my only computer, really.
Well, it might not be a new location if we put out the
Oh yeah, the questions. You might have already seen it, but not from this angle. That's for damn sure.
That's true. Alright, let's get in it. Let's find some questions we can answer.
Oh, real quickly, we did get a comment on our last one, the difference between young adult and adult, and someone said that it was exactly what they were looking for, and they thanked us. So I'm just happy that we actually helped somebody. That's all I ever wanted. I just want to help people.
Okay, let's see. Let me know when something hits you.
I mean, I do like, how do you guys get in the writing mood?
Okay, let's do that. Alright. I've been writing this story for a while now, working on the 8th chapter. There have been a lot of ups, downs, highs, and lows, but ultimately this story has grown very close to me, and I wanted to see it through to completion. I really want to finish it, which is why I'm trying to do everything I can. I take time out of every day to write, and I'll sit at my computer trying to force myself to get my thoughts out. But everything I write feels painful and plodding, to a point where I'll spend hours staring at a blank screen after writing about 400 words, delete it, and start over. Believe me, there is nothing I want more than to finish this. Anytime I spend not working on this story is time spent thinking about how I could be working on the story right now, and most of my free time is spent trying to write. Yet coming back to this story instantly drains all my motivation and creativity, and I sit there trying to push through it and not feel anything I put down. I can't get my mind in the right mindset, so I was wondering, what do you guys do when this sort of thing happens? How do you push through the parts of the story where you've hit a creative drought? Edit, please stop recommending porn, drugs, and alcohol.
I read that earlier, and I was like, so I'm trying not to laugh. So I don't recommend porn, drugs, or alcohol. That's no.
I can tell you that I 100% feel you. I mean, Quixotical. I think that
you'll see his name on screen, but I mean, I feel it. I think here's what sucks. Every author typically goes through this, which is kind of nice that, you know, there's typically a remedy for this, that you kind of get in this drought season where it's like, I hate this and nothing's inspired, but I want to keep going, so what do I do? I think your main issue is that you're deleting your words.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're in your rough draft, and I mean, I hope.
Yeah.
and the best thing to do, even though it sucks ass, is just to write. Just put words down. If you have notes of things you want to change later, put that on a separate document and just get through it. I know, trust me, I wrote an entire book that to this day I still hate, but it was my first one. That's not every project I work on, but you have to get through it, and then you're like, okay, let's take a break and then come back to it and actually start rewriting, because rewriting is the real writing, let's be real.
Though also it could be, since I'm going just based off of what they're saying, it could also be burnout.
It could be. You could try taking a break.
Yeah, taking a break, because they do write every single day, which good on you. I don't do that.
Oh, God, I'm trying.
Yeah, or it could be, like, overthinking it, because with the write word, delete it, start over, that could be also what's holding you back.
I think you should just try a handful of things. It doesn't seem like taking a break is, like, what you need right now, because it doesn't seem frustrated when they can't. So try just not deleting things, or if you have to delete it, make a scraps page. This is what I do, because sometimes I fuck up and I forget where my characters need to be, and I'm like, oh shit, what I just put, is it technically usable? So I'll just move it over. That way nothing is really deleted. It's just, I fucked up. But yeah, so try just to work, just keep writing. Just keep putting words on the page. Don't delete anything, again, unless you fuck up with your outline and you're like, shit, I put them in a bar. They're meant to be home.
But then, you know, also just understand that it's gonna be shit.
Yeah, it's the first draft, unfortunately, and again, you get to come back, and that's the beauty of writing. Come back and work with it, and put everything in the kind of the correct spot.
Oh, another tip of advice, because I know that you're also like having a creative drought. What you could also do is role play with your characters.
Oh, yes.
Just do something fun in that world and with the characters, and maybe that might give you ideas that get you really excited. That's usually what happens with us. We the book that we're writing together, we kind of just like play around with our characters, come up with different scenarios or like they put them in an alternate universe, and then from there, like sometimes we've had like our biggest revelations from that.
Honestly, yeah, and not only that, but it kind of opens up the character, like personality-wise. Mm-hmm. I did this with a short story, actually. A teacher recommended it, that I take these characters and put them in a very vulnerable state with their loved one. And it actually, like, cracked the character for me, and it gave me a whole new depth of, like, dimension for just the short story. And the fact that, like, just that one little short that was, like, I think just, like, a page and a half long, like, really tiny, just could do so much. So try that. Maybe try, again, just little shorts, little writing exercises, maybe. It don't have to be long. That way, it's more fun and freeing, and you can kind of take that like doubt and fear of like, oh my god, this isn't what I want in the book, and just be like, I just want to have fun for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't, like, yeah, it could just like not give you that big revelation or learn something new, but hey, you had fun and you had a break, and that could just be what you need.
Yeah, so, definitely try a handful of things, and I wish you all the luck.
Yep.
All right, now we gotta type that down.
Okay. And comment. Ooh. Okay.
What should we do next?
Not the pantser one.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know that.
Nope. Other anxiety-prone perfectionist types, any tips for letting go and allowing your first draft to be bad? That's kind of the same thing we just did.
Yeah, I know, right? Starting to write. This happened an hour ago. Let's check it out. When you start to write a book, do you have in mind exactly 100% of the story and of the plot, or you just start and then you finish creating the plot? Well,
okay.
It's a weird mix of both, where I like to outline the entire story, but it's also somewhat vague enough so that if I come up with something new, I can easily put it in. Or sometimes it's just like, if I were to try to plot everything that happened, I would never start writing. I just have to feel it.
What's really funny is, like, it's like, do you write everything down, or are you really vague? Yes. Because, and she's seen this in my outlines, where I am, like, to the detail, like, what they talk about, where they're going, who they meet up with. It's a long paragraph of detail. Literally the next thing, I'm not kidding you, like, at a ball, I literally go, at the ball, something happens. And then I moved on, because I didn't know, but I knew something happened, and I never actually went back and fixed it. So for years, Haley and I would always go back to that, like, what has happened to this ball? And I'm like, I don't know, I've changed it like 5 times. I'm not sure anymore.
It just, it just depends on what you know by the time,
I know, like, definitely play a lot around with it, because before I used to be super, super detailed in, like, everything in my outlines, and then I realized that it wasn't fun, and it actually drained a lot of it, because it felt like I was writing the book, but not in the fun writery way, just in the stupid outline thing.
I was the complete opposite. I just, like, okay, I didn't go with, sometimes I went in without having written down the plot, and I just go just from my head.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just did one big paragraph, just a brief summary of what happens, but it's like barely an outline.
I feel you.
Yeah, so, but then, we worked together, and we kind of mixed our two styles together.
Mesh. Because, like, there was some things where you needed to be specific, and some things where you just were vague. I know for this person, it's like, do I have the book in my mind exactly all of it? No.
And I don't think anyone ever
really does. I know that typically I like to know, like, the beginning, obviously, around the beginning, kind of around the middle if there's an event, but most likely I like to know the end, and I typically like to go in with the character and character arc in mind. That way I can basically, if I know where point A and point B is, I can get the little dots, how they get there, a little bit easier, and eventually I'll come up with more events, and it gets a little bit easier.
I usually start out knowing, like, I'd say, like, 70% of the plot.
I don't know. What's funny is that with, like, my first book, Arcana, I didn't bullshit it like that, because I had a very detailed thing, but I didn't like that. And then we went to this book, I wasn't as detailed and it was very vague, and we keep changing it, so it's a lot of brainstorming. But with the new book that I'm planning, it came from a short story. So while a lot of it is new, I'm still working with something core, so I can't even really give like a full, yeah, this is what I do every time answer. I just know that generally I'm either really specific or I'm super as vague. Like, they talk about what?
And I guess it just really depends on what you're writing.
Yeah, so just try around if you feel like, try something detailed. If that feels too draggy, try lighting it up. If, like, you can't handle writing anything down, try being a pantser, which is a person who doesn't typically outline. Or, like, really write down any details. I know a person who can't do details. But, yeah, I think that's all they really need.
I think it's more of just an opinion instead of actual advice.
Yeah, again, do what you need.
Okay. Comment. Okay.
So now I've ordered it by new, so we can get the questions while they're hot.
Okay, well, not this one, because that's a critique.
Okay. I'm writing an extension on Chrome. What I wrote came to me low. I'm being asked to solicit a piece by my IG DMs, but can't tell if the message is legit. I don't know.
That's not us.
How soon is too soon to announce your whip title, premise on social media, etc., etc.?
How to write something that needs a small backstory to understand the story. Skip it.
How do you create challenges for ordinary characters in an ordinary world? Ooh, we could do that.
You create ordinary challenges. Maybe. Let's go down a little bit.
Scroll down?
Yeah, I just want to see. There's an ad. Scroll down. Okay, yeah, let's just go to ordinary challenges. I don't know how much advice I'll have for this, but it'll be fun.
Alright, so next one by Zenoji. I don't know if I said that right.
Apologies.
How do you create challenges for ordinary characters in an ordinary world? Most of my experience is with science fiction, fantasy, and a little bit of horror. Creating challenges for my characters is usually pretty easy when fighting against aliens or other mystical creatures. But right now I'm working on a story that is a modern drama, and I am having trouble creating challenges that don't involve swords and lasers and stuff. How do you create challenges for your characters when your characters are just regular people in a regular world? I actually have advice for this one. So I learned this while I saw this advice on a Tumblr post that someone wrote down that they heard from this other author who had a seminar.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and okay, they said that there's 3 questions you should ask. I'm gonna admit, I forgot what one of the questions are, but it still works with just the 2.
Okay, I might be able to fill in the blanks.
Yes. What do the characters want, and how do you stop them from getting it?
I guess the other question would be, how would they go about getting it? Kind of like if you wanted a job, naturally you would put in your resume, or, you know, the application process, I can't think of words, and, you know, once they talk to you, you go in for an interview, and it's kind of like, great, that's how they would normally get the job. What can go wrong? A lot of things, especially if technology's a bitch.
Yeah.
But it's just like that, I mean...
honestly, real life is stranger than fiction, and, like, you've heard that, and it's still true.
It's so true.
It's actually really easy, at least for me, to come up with, like, challenges that don't involve, like, mysticism or science fiction or whatever, because, like, honestly, even mundane challenges are entertaining. Like, here's a situation, okay, this is a cliche situation, but still a challenge. You know, you like a guy, but your best friend also likes this guy. Do you go for him, or do you, like, leave it to your friend to go with them? It's like, again, cliche, but it is a challenge, and just, I guess, think about the challenges that have happened to you.
Yeah, in your everyday life. I mean, just the going out example, I mean, that's a lot of challenges in itself.
Yeah.
One, you gotta, like, work up the courage, and if this is high school, no alcohol is allowed, so good luck. No liquid courage for you. And then you actually have to talk to the person, plan a date. The date itself will present a ton of challenges. Here's one. When my dad proposed to my mother, they were going up to the mountain, but the car broke down. So he had to do it right then and there on the side of the road because he couldn't wait any longer. Because it would be hours before he could get up there. And he was too nervous. That's very mundane, but it is a problem. And it could be very entertaining in a drama.
Yeah. That's about it.
There you go.
Yep.
I try to keep it short. I'm like, this is the shortest story where something went wrong.
All right, we're gonna do one more. Let's see.
Let's just go down unnamed heroes.
Pronouns for artificial intelligence.
That's what you want it to be, Boo. Writing books.
Oh, okay. So it's asking which books of writing. Let's do it anyways. Let's see if we recognize it. All right, writing books. I'm trying to narrow down my list of books on writing to 4. Which of these books are worth reading over the others? We have Steering the Craft by Ursula K. Le Guin, On Writing by Stephen King, Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, Save the Cat, Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody, The Elements of Style by William Strunk, Dreyer's English, An Utterly Correct Guide to Clarity and Style by Benjamin Dreyer, The Anatomy of a Story by John Truby. I only know of 2.
Okay, well, first, I want to say, it depends on what you want from this book of writing. If you want, plot, characters, da-da-da-da-da, I can tell you 2 books that aren't going to do it. So there is The Elements of Style by William Strunk. This is more like a style guide. It's how you get your grammar. So if you're like, I want a small little book, it's tiny. We both own it.
Yeah.
And it's just the, how do I use a semicolon? If for some reason you want to double check or you're unsure how to do whatever, you go to that. That's more of a style guide. The On Writing by Stephen King, again, is not a character's plot, whatever.
It's kind of more of a memoir-ish.
It's more of a memoir. It's more inspiration.
Yeah.
That's basically how a lot of people describe it. It's amazing if you want to read it, but it's just there to kind of, I don't know, just a lot of people describe it as inspiration. I haven't finished it yet, but again, there isn't any, if you want to do characters, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Elements of plot, here's what you do. So if you're looking for those 2, you can scratch them up. I still recommend The Elements of Style.
Yeah, also On Writing if you want that inspiration. Those 2 have good reviews.
Yes. I feel really bad because I personally haven't read the others.
Yeah, I only know of those 2, so.
Yes, at least we can help at least with that. However, it's depending on who you are, but I don't rely too much on books. I always equate writing, and since we're doing filming to basically drawing art. It takes practice, it takes time, there is no one way to do it, and even if you follow the book religiously, there's still going to be errors and issues, and you're going to have to give it to beta readers or a reading group or whatever have you. So just be careful whichever books you get, because while they can be a nice guide, that's all it is a guide. I personally try not to read a lot of writing how-to books, because not that I don't feel I don't need it, it's just a lot of what they say is just shit I already know. At some point you kind of outgrow the books, I feel like. I don't know. That's just me though.
Cool, done. Get over here.
Okay, because that was so short, this is gonna be our actual last one.
We promise. Maybe. I don't know. We're liars. We already did the how to get in the writing mood. Hold on. I need help with fast finish on an animation type, but I want to write a scene that has the same energy of it. Any tips on writing of good fight scenes?
Let's do that!
You're welcome.
Okay, so, writing a fight scene, especially with the anime type. Okay, because we are weeaboos, love anime, and I especially love shonen anime.
The fact that we know what those are.
I know. Those fights tend to be very grand and very epic.
I think part of what's just before the setup of this fight scene, there has to be a lot at stake. It can't just be a I don't know, a fight from the beginning. You know what I mean? Like every time they enter a fight, especially in Bleach, there's always so much at stake, whether it's their life or a friend is being taken away or the destruction of the world. There's always something that makes them want to go all out. That has to happen first.
Yeah.
You have to make sure the stakes are high.
And then you also, another staple of the fight scenes is the thoughts. Because if you think think of any anime where they're half of it is them facing each other and thinking okay, this is my strategy, or man, I'm dead to myself. No, I have to believe in myself.
Not only that, but there also is some really good banter going on in between. You guys have a little bit of both. I know actually these are just hard because, like, how do you get that good kind of energy? And this is like that, but on the next level.
Yeah.
So
now, just how to write a good fight scene in general? Okay. So, I've noticed that with fight scenes, the sentences tend to get shorter.
Yes.
Because you're trying to get the energy of, like, this is all happening fast, pow, pow, pow.
Yeah, so longer sentences make it feel longer.
Yeah.
Definitely use a mix of, like, of course very short, but also, like, maybe medium for maybe those thoughts. Just so it's not, like, stagnant, you know? You can mix it up if you want to have like a lengthy thought, like, oh my god, is this gonna happen? Am I gonna die? That can be a long sentence because it sounds rambly.
I also I lost my train of thought. Continue. You go something.
So I kind of read it down from the other section, but one other person said don't describe every detail, and because I keep glancing at this screen, I also recommend that because that'll just bog it down. Keep it to what is, like, strictly necessary. Like, write that first, and then maybe go in and add a little bit more, like, what they're thinking, or a little bit more detail just to make sure it's not just like a skeleton.
But then again, I'm going to say something that kind of contradicts it a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
Focus on the 5 senses.
Senses, yes.
Yeah.
Focus on the senses.
Because, like, you know, in a fight, you're going to, like, feel the sweat, and every hit is going to fucking hurt. I need to feel the pain. I need to feel like I just got punched in the face.
And, like, definitely focus where your details are. Stay, obviously, with the main character. Like, where his focus or her focus is, have that word be the book's focus.
Yeah, like, don't really pay too much attention to the surroundings. Like, describe the surroundings before the fight happens, so
yeah, because when you're in a fight, you know, you zero in on, like, your opponent, or you zero in on, like, how to escape, whichever you have, or both, you know, if you want to, you know, fight 2 battles at once, really. Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I really have. Good luck. I struggle with fight scenes.
Same.
Cool.
And, well, that's all the questions that we have today. Well, we're answering today.
Do you guys have any other questions for us or any advice you'd like to give to these Reddit users? Of course, you will see them on screen, and you are, of course, free to go and find them. There'll also be, like, a link to just, I guess, the Reddit we kind of scored through.
Yeah.
So again, put all those lovely things in the comments. We love reading them. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course, hit that notification bell so YouTube actually tells you when we give out a new episode.
And check us out on Twitter at writing_addicts, if I can remember our own handle. Or on Facebook, facebook.com/writingaddicts.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.